Guys, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. This is Adam over at the Pagelime office, and today we're going to show you how to take a PSD that you have enabled for SiteGrinder 3 and take it all the way to a functioning website integrated with Pagelime. And guess what? Absolutely no coding is involved. It's going to be really cool. If you're not familiar with SiteGrinder 3, it's a really feature-packed piece of software that plugs into Photoshop that allows you, with just adding a couple hints to your PSD layers, will output a full HTML ready-to-go website. You can integrate it with jQuery, CSS, all kinds of cool effects right within SiteGrinder, and again, with no code at all. It works perfectly with Pagelime because during the process where you can add CSS classes, we're going to be adding the CSS editable class that's required by Pagelime, so Pagelime knows where to let the client edit stuff or let you edit stuff. The whole process is going to take you about 10 to 15 minutes. This tutorial runs about 13 minutes or so, so sit tight. We're going to get started real quick. Again, in case you're not familiar with Pagelime or if you need a little refresher, we are a CMS for your clients. We're super easy to integrate. Like I said, you're just going to add a CSS class to anything you want editable, whether it be an image or a div or a list item or a span or a p tag, anything. And then you'll be able to hand that over to your client, and they will be able to make those edits in a very easy WYSIWYG visual environment that they can understand. You can even brand the entire back end, make it look like it's yours, completely white label it. We're totally cool with that. In fact, we even encourage that. We're going to be rolling out this month a recurring billing and reseller system that's going to allow you to, right within Pagelime, mark up and bill out the CMS to each individual client. It's going to give you some cool passive income. It's going to be great. So without further ado, let's get to this tutorial here and we'll get started. So here we have the template that the SiteGrinder guys have kindly lent us. We've done a little modification to it for this tutorial, added an image here, and we're going to tweak some of the hints. This tutorial does start assuming that you know the basics of SiteGrinder 3 hints and the way you use them. If you don't have that knowledge yet, then I suggest you go over to the Media Labs website and visit the SiteGrinder 3 page, where you can watch SiteGrinder 3 TV. I recommend the episodes, the Essentials 1 and Essentials 2, which will get you where you need to be in order to understand what we're doing in this tutorial with the hints. In that case, we're going to continue on. So we have this page set up. We have two images that we want to be editable. Now typically we're not going to be able to add classes to images later on in the design manager stage of SiteGrinder. So what we need to do is add what's called the content hint to these layers. So we have this image here that we're going to add the content tag to, or the content hint. And what the content hint does is it's going to wrap that image in a div, which will allow us to edit it through the Zoom Crop browser in Pagelime later. We're also going to do it to this background. We're going to replace the background tag, in this case, with the content tag. That will allow us to be able to apply a class to it. So other than that, we're all set. Our other tags are already there. We have a content text here and H1 unique as well here. So all that's left is to go to the automate and have SiteGrinder do its thing. We need to save first, so we're going to do that. I already had the SiteGrinder engine loaded, so we don't need to open it, but it's going to load the site into the SiteGrinder. You'll see here that we have a few report errors. That's because our copy, we do not have the control or the e-commerce add-on installed, and this tutorial file that they gave us has those tags in it. So we can go ahead and ignore that and continue on. We're going to go to the build and deploy page, and we're not going to build up any of these other pages. So since we're not building out these other pages, we're just going to uncheck them. So we have our home page here, and we want to build that out. So as we're building this out, it's going to open up a page here, and it's going to show you the progress bar here. As that's building, you'll see that it's running the automation in the background, doing all the cut-ups and the coding. So now that this is complete, we're just going to click on home.html, and it's going to open up the design manager for this page. We'll see that we have our design here that's been cut up into glorious HTML. And what we're concerned about is the border and background styles page, or drop-down menu. This is where we're going to add a new style to our elements. You'll notice as we mouse over certain ones, it will draw a border around what it is so we know which one we're talking about, or so we know which one we have selected. Now all we need to do is add a new style called editable. We're not going to do the CMS hyphen because the hyphens will interrupt SiteGrinder's cut-up process. And so we're just going to drop the whole first half and just use editable. We're not going to set any colors, box shadow, or anything like that. We just want to set the name. Once we do that, we click apply, and we can close. And now we have that, we can add that to everything else in the page. So now that we've done that, these are all going to be editable. We need to launch the site. So we're going to go back to Photoshop where we have the SiteGrinder deploy page, and we're going to click deploy. We want to choose a new site we're going to add. Local only, and we're going to click OK. Now at this point we can click deploy design, which will build out the site and save it to a local folder. Now we've opened up that local folder and we have that viewing in the browser. We can then check it as the index page and we're going to upload it. Now we do need to set our connection settings here for our upload. So we're going to select a server to upload it to, click OK, and now that's it. And now that that's all set up, we can just choose to upload the site. Since this is the first time, we can just say upload everything. It's telling us how much it's going to be, and we click continue. You can see it's uploading all the graphics, the JavaScript libraries for the drop-down menu, and any other important files that it needs to make the site run. Once that's complete, we can click Open Site, and it will open up the HTTP address. So if you want, you can make that the full site, but we're just going to navigate to our page. And so now we have this page that we just built out. It's right here, ready to go in Pagelime. Now we can go over and log into Pagelime. So now we've logged into Pagelime. We want to add our site. So to do this, we click Add New Site, and we're going to enter our full address here and include the index.html. Click Continue. We're going to change our site name to Awesome SiteGrinder Site. We have our FTP address again, username, password, and we want to set the path. Just test this. Now we need to go to our advanced settings here. This is the important part. Because we had to drop the CMS editable from our class we applied to the editable regions, we need to change it so Pagelime knows what it's looking for. So we change this to just become editable. That will allow Pagelime to pick up on those areas that SiteGrinder published. Once that's complete, we can go in and we can choose the site. We want to activate the image gallery because we're going to be changing some images. Edit the site, and here you'll see that our wonderful SiteGrinder created Pagelime site will load right up. One thing to note is that, as I said before, since we had to wrap our images in divs using the content hint in SiteGrinder, it does give us a div area to edit, which will make the image show up in the WYSIWYG editor. We don't want to use this method because it doesn't allow us to utilize the zoom cropper. So what we do instead is we're going to hover over that image and we'll see the little image icon in the middle. We can click this and that will bring us to the zoom crop browser. Next we're going to upload lines, obviously, and choose our crop. Once we've chosen our crop, we can click Finish, and it's going to crop the image and bring it right into the site. Next, we can edit this H1 tag. And click OK. That's going to change it here. And now we can change this. One trick about changing text that's a different color in line in the WYSIWYG editor is to delete all the characters except the first one. That will preserve your formatting for you to add new text. Change this image. Obviously more limes. Again, I just clicked the WYSIWYG edit tag by accident. I want to click the main image here, which will allow us to use this browser. Choose my crop, finish, and that is one lime-tastic site. We can add in. We just want to finish this here. We can change our company info. Again, I'm not going to delete all the characters at once. This preserves the formatting and allows me to keep that. We just want to edit the destination. Click OK. We're all set. Now all it's left to do is to publish out the site. It's all set, and we can go see our changes here. Brilliant. And now we have a super awesome Limerific site. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. That's how we're going to take a SiteGrinder site and bring it into Pagelime. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. There should be more tutorials on SiteGrinder and Pagelime coming in the future, so you can look out for those. In the meantime, if you want to get up on your knowledge in SiteGrinder, just head over to SiteGrinder TV on their website, and you can read all about their extra features, including animations such as these drop downs and additional features that are really handy to use. Until then, thanks for stopping by. Stay Limerific.